Hello, welcome to my training. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create structural elements in Revit. So I'm using a Revit LT version. In case if you're using a Revit full version, then you will be having some more tools here. Here you can see, let's start with the datum point. To create a level, you have to be in a elevation view or a section view. To create a grid, it is better to be there in a plan view. So I'm going to show you how to create structural levels in Revit. To create a level, I should go to an elevation. So I can see here in the project browser, there are already 4 elevations. You can see here, 4 elevations are available and they are listed here. I can go to any of the elevation and I can see only 2 levels are visible by default. So if you are taking any Revit, then by default you'll be getting 2 levels. So this may vary based on your company template, the number of levels can vary. To create a new level, when you're in elevation view or a section view, here you can see the level tool is available to use. So you can click here and you can draw a new level. So when you're creating a level, you should make sure that make plan is checked. Plan types, you select all the type and then draw a level. In case if you are not checking this make plan view, that time the level will be created but the view will not get added. You can see level 5 is created but it is not listed in the project browser. Anyways, that level is available to add it back. Here you can see, if I go to view, plan views, if I select floor plans, and you can see level 5 and it is got added. So we have created a new level. Now let's continue with the grid tool. So here you can see, you can find a grid tool. These level and grid tool, they are available in architecture tab also. You can see them here. So now I'm going to show you how to create a grid. To create a grid, you have to be in a plan view. When you take a grid, so you can see here you can have an offset and you can draw a straight line, you can draw a curve, you can draw a radius, and you can pick any line to draw a grid, and you can have multiple segments also. I have explained how to create a grid in Revit in another video. In case if you are interested, please watch that video. I'm giving the link in the top right. So for this explanation, so I'm going to create only straight grid. You can see them here. So now it is numbered as 1. So this is called the grid head and this is called the start and end and the grid middle. You should know the name. So when you are selecting the grid, when you go to edit type, then here you can see all the properties. So if you know the name, then it is good to work with the properties. Okay, let's continue with the grid. So I'm going to try 5 grids. Let me draw all the grids first. Okay, and give a distance of 5 meter each. So let's select and keep the dimension as 5 meter. Okay, now so let's secure the grid and now select the dimension and keep it equal, and you can see here now all the dimensions are 5 meter. Yes, select and remove the dimension, that's not required. Now let's draw horizontal grids and change the grid name from 6 to A. So when you are changing it to A, the second grid will be automatically named as B. C, you can copy the grid also, select the grid and copy. So you can see here this is starting from A, B, C and till E, it is there. Okay, the same way let's do a dimension. And then select one grid and keep it as 5 meter and secure the grid. And now select the dimension and keep it as equal. Now all the grid distance are equal. So in case if you want to extend the grid, then you have to unpin. Select the grid and unpin. Select 3D end and extend. To know whether the grid is 3D or 2D, you have to check here. So you might think, what is 3D grid and what is 2D grid? In case if you are clicking here, so now it becomes 2D, and if I extend this grid, and this is actually extended in this view only. If you go to any other view, so there is no extension here. In case if I make this grid as 3D and I'm going to unlock, and now if I extend, now this grid got extended in all the views. You can go to level 2 and you can see this is extended, and level 3 it is extended. Basically 3D means applicable for all the views, 2D means view based, it is applicable only for the current view. Keep it simple. So remember the concept, then you can do best in Revit. So I'm going to keep it in the same place. So when I'm aligning to the left grid, you can see a small dash blue color line I can see. So when the line is visible, just leave it there. So now this is aligned and locked. If I extend, it will extend all the lines. So now we have seen how to create level and grid. Let's move on to the columns. So here you can see structural columns. I'm going to take column. So here you can see there is a column selected, but in the properties this is showing like it's a steel column. In case if I need a concrete column, I can directly load family and I can select structural concrete column. Go to columns, concrete, let's say rectangular column. And now before placing, I have loaded concrete column instantly. So let's see the second option. I'm going to delete this column. Let's go to structure, take column, and here you can see the second option is at the grid intersection. If I select this option, then I can place all the columns at the grid intersection. To place column at grid intersection, select all the grid, and here you can see the preview, and so once you are okay with the preview, then finish. So now you can see all the columns are created except these two grids. Now you can see the columns are placed at the level 3. So in case if you want to copy the same column to all the level, then in the 3D you select cross select and then go to filter and select only structural column and give copy to clipboard. So now this is copied to clipboard, and here in the paste option click align to selected levels. So now we have placed our column in level 3, so select except level 3 and then say OK. So something went wrong. Let's do undo. Let's do the same again. Go to paste, select align to selected levels, select 2, 4 and 5. 2, 3 and 5. So now you can see all the level columns are placed, but some columns are not connected to levels. So whichever the columns are not connected to levels, select them separately and then check base offset and top offset, and now these are connected. Even here you can select all the column, select a structural column only, and you can check this is going below 700. Select all the column, check none, select structural column and check the level offset. So all the columns are created now. So now we have our columns from level 1 only. Usually the columns will go below the ground. So you can create a level for the foundation. Let's go to elevation view and create a foundation top level. Go to view, go to structure, select level and draw one level for foundation top. And rename as foundation. Extend the grid, otherwise the grid won't be visible in foundation. For example, if I go to foundation, I don't see any grid. So I'm going to the same east elevation and I'm going to extend the grids. To extend the grid, you have to unpin the grid first and then select 3D end and extend. Once it is crossing, if you go to foundation, you can see the grids are visible, but only horizontal grids are visible. So we should go to the opposite elevation. So here you can see the grids are not crossed with the foundation level. So let's select the level and cross, and now you can see in the foundation X and Y direction grids are available now. So now let's copy all the columns to foundation level. Go to 3D view. You can do it in the level also. I prefer doing it in 3D. Copy all the columns, then align to select a level and select foundation. And actually this is supposed to go from foundation level to 1. So let's make the correction. Let this go from foundation level to level 1. So now we can say we have created all the columns. Now let's create foundation. To create foundation, go to foundation level. So here you can see all the columns. To create foundation, go to structure, take isolated foundation. So for now, by default, the foundations are not loaded. To load, say yes, and then go to the foundation folder. Select structural foundation, and you can select any type of foundation. So I'm going to select footing rectangular. So here you can see you can load a family for foundation in case if you want a different foundation type. The second option, you know how to place at grids. This is used to create foundation at a grid intersection, and to place foundation at columns, select this option. I can show you once. Select at columns and select whichever the columns you want to put foundation. Basically you will see a foundation preview. Here it is not visible, but that's okay. Give finish, and in the view range keep the bottom as unlimited and say OK. Now you can see all the foundation. Again I'm going to place foundation. I'm selecting foundation and I'm selecting grid intersection, and I'm selecting these grids, and you can see the preview now, and you have to finish. And in case if you are giving escape now, this foundation will get cancelled. So when you are choosing at grid, you have to select the grid and then finish. Now you have to check for the foundation level. So go to 3D view, select any elevation, and here you can see all the foundations are at the foundation level. So this is what I need, so I'm just going to keep it like this. Basically the foundation is available for wall. So here you can see structural wall foundation. So I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to foundation. Let's draw a wall here. So I'm going to structure and select structural wall and draw one lift bit. Okay. So when there is a wall, then we don't need a foundation for separate columns. Okay, so I'm going to remove it. I have removed. Now I can assign wall foundation. So here you can see wall foundation. Select here, and then here you check what type of foundation it is. So if I go to edit type, here you can see structural material, structural usage, width, thickness. So here you can see it is a bearing. So for wall foundation we have two types. One is for retaining and one for bearing. In case if we keep this as retaining, you can see toe length, heel length and foundation thickness you can mention. If you are keeping it as bearing, then you will get an option to give width and thickness. So I'm going to keep it as bearing for now. I'm going to say OK. Now I can choose which wall I want to put the foundation. If I click, you can see here this is applied. Go to 3D view, and here you can see the foundation got applied. Sometimes what will happen, the foundation will be a raft foundation or a grade foundation. So that time you can take floor as foundation, select structure of floor, and then draw foundation wherever it requires. For example, I'm going to start from here to here. As told before, when I have the slab foundation, I don't need the isolated foundation, so I'm going to remove isolated foundation for this portion. Select filter, select only foundation, and then delete. So here we have raft foundation, here we have wall foundation, and here we have isolated foundation. I'm going to show you something different. So here we have all the concrete columns. Let's try some steel column also. So first, before putting a steel column, we need concrete pedestal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to copy this column to this edge. So the same way I can copy this column to the edges. Copy this column to the edges. Let's go to 3D view. So I am in 3D view already. Okay. So as I said, so I'm going to keep all these columns as steel columns now. Level 1 is your ground floor. Okay, so from ground floor I'm going to keep everything as steel column. Select, check none, only select columns and change the column type. And here you can see it's a steel column now. So now I'm going to copy the same wall for all the floor. Let's copy to clipboard and select levels. Select 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and say OK. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually that one I should not be selected, otherwise it will be counting 2. I'm going to undo and I'm going to copy again. Go to modify, paste, select and select level 5, 4, 3, 2. Foundation uncheck and say OK. Now we can see it is copied to all the levels, but it is copied with the foundation also. So let's remove the foundation. Select, go to filter, check none and select structural foundation and say OK and then delete. Here we can see some of the levels the wall is not reaching the level. So select the wall, go to filter, check none, select only the wall, and here in the base offset check 0 and in the top offset also keep it as 0. Now this is looking good. So now we have our foundation. So here you can see our foundation is in ground level. So let's keep it in the foundation level. Okay. So here we have wrapped foundation, wall foundation and isolated foundation. Now let's start drawing all the joint beam and all the floor framing beams. I'm going to foundation and here I'm going to structure, select beam and here you have to select concrete beam. If you don't have concrete beam loaded, then load family and go to structural framing and then select concrete, select the beam and load. In my case the concrete beam is already loaded, so I'm just going to select, and then here you can see I can apply beams on grids. Select on grid option and then select all the grid and finish. Let's go to 3D view. You can see here everywhere we have beams. Usually I don't need beam where I have the raft. So what am I going to do? First let's copy these beams to the top level. Select, filter, check none, structural framing, OK. Then copy and select copy to clipboard and say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we can see all the beams are copied to all the levels. Let's remove where we don't need beams. So I'm going to select till here. So I should be selecting from here. Go to filter, check none, structural framing, and then delete. So this grade slab thickness supposed to be 600. So let's create a type. And give 600. Go to edit type, change the thickness to 600 and say OK. So now we have our raft foundation with a thickness of 600 mm. This is also 600 mm depth. So I have concrete beam in the place of steel beam. Let's change them. Okay. Select all the beam. Filter, check none, structural framing. Okay. And then change the type to steel. So we have steel column, steel beam. Even this portion we can change it to steel. Now the structural beam is ready. Let's draw the slab. I'm going to level 1, select a structure, select floor, and then draw the floor slab. Finish. Don't attach. Let's go to 3D view. Here you can see the steel beam and the concrete slab is clashing. So we have to select all the beam and we have to give 150 mm offset. I'm going to right click, select all instance, in entire project, and here Z value I can give 150 mm down, minus 150 mm. Now this looks better. In case if you are having a different thickness of slab, then you can create multiple segment of slab to suit the thickness. For now I'm keeping it as a single slab, so I'm going to copy the slab, copy to clipboard, and then select levels to paste. This is your level 1, so select a level 2, 3, 4, 5. So in all the level the floor is created now. So we have our lift, but we don't have the opening. So let's create an opening. Go to level 1, go to architecture, take shaft opening, and here we have to draw the boundary and then create symbolic line so that we can see the cross on the drawing. Finish. So select the shaft. This should be starting from foundation to level 5, 150 mm offset. Go to 3D view. So now you can see the opening. Looks better. Let's see how to use bracing. So here I have steel column on this side and this side, so I'm going to create a bracing. Go to level 1. So here I have a section and I need to know which grid is it. Grid E. Go to right click and go to view, and here you can see, so this is our section view. Now let's draw bracing. First always draw a line where you want the bracing. For example, I need my bracing here. These are just a line only. Now I'm going to draw brace. Structure, take a brace, and then you can draw a brace. Select and keep them till here. Go to 3D view and check. This is actually somewhere outside. Go to same section 1, take brace, set work plane. Work plane is grid E. That's right. Go to structure, take brace, 3D snapping uncheck. So this is how you can create bracing. Go to view, 3D view. You can see how it looks. In case if you want to copy this bracing for this side, then you can select all the bracing. So now it is copied. Here let's create one more level for the lift room. I'm going to select all the wall, filter, check none, take walls, copy and align to selected level, take level 5. Change the level to level 5 to 3 meter offset. And draw a slab here. Go to level 5, select, create similar, then draw a slab. Height offset 3 meter. Now let's add a door for the lift. Better take a section, go to right click, go to view, go to architecture, take a door and then apply door. Select the door, copy to clipboard, align to selected level and select all the level. We don't need a door unless we have a basement. So that's all for the day. I hope now we have understood how to create a structural model in Revit. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you. Bye bye.